Hi everyone, this is Professor Griswold. I just kind of wanted to go over a couple of things. Now we're about halfway through the course. Wanted to talk about the previous module and what's to come. So several of you missed points on the previous module just for simply not following and reading directions. If you ever have a question over requirements or how I'm grading or anything like that, please feel free to message me and let me know. Hi, Mexie. And I would be glad to help. I would never want you to turn in an assignment with still questions unanswered, and when you get that grade back, you wish you did. So please always make sure that you email me and ask me questions. Looking on here, it says for each badge, you must list all the standards, all the criteria, etc. Several of you just listed kind of like a paragraph of this is what they could be doing for each badge, and it looked like the badges all had the same criteria, and that would not make sense. Each badge needs to have its own specific criteria because that's what you're going to complete in order to earn that badge. Otherwise, if you were to do all those criteria, you would earn 5 badges at a time, and that just doesn't make sense. Also, when you're listing out the standards, make sure that you list the full standard out, and if you can, list the number and letter identifier as well. If you notice on my grading, I go through each of the requirements, and then I'll go through the rubric that's given to you in each of the documents step by step. And so I try to make it very specific so that you know what I was looking at, what I was grading for, and that there shouldn't be any questions at the end. If you ever do, please feel free to let me know. If you don't agree with it or you just had a question, please feel free to ask. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to show you a submission that I actually did. So this is my badge that I created. This was my Google Drive sharing a document badge. I have my image source. This is something that we talked about in the previous module over digital citizenship, and a lot of times we forget to cite images, but it is just as important as citing a source that you actually quote from or you paraphrase from in a research paper. Okay, I borrowed this image of the calendar with the pencil and the paper. That wasn't mine. Now I created everything else, the circle, the text, etc. That was all done inside of PowerPoint, but this icon was not mine to use, so I have to give credit to it from somebody else. And a lot of times we forget to do that. So it's very simple. Just say image source and the link, or you could say image of Google Drive share a doc, a short description of it, and then the link. So very simple to cite those, but a lot of times we forget to do it. So there's my specific standard that this one goes with. It had teacher and it had student standards, and then the skills needed to earn the badge. Each badge goes by that model. It has the standard, it has the skills. It has standard, skills. Some people just listed all the standards that all the badges went with, and I couldn't tell what went with which badge, which skills went with each badge, etc. So you need to be just a little bit more specific, and don't overanalyze it. Okay. I wanted to show you a couple different things that are going on right now in education. I'm an Apple district, so my district has asked all of us to be working towards earning the Apple Teacher Badge. And so it's mastering of all of the Apple iWork suite tools, both on the Mac and on the iPad. There's different levels that you can earn, etc. But if you'd like to sign up, anybody can do it. And here's the link for it. I'll admit that that's the one I'm most familiar with because I'm currently working on it. But you also will see these as Google Certified Educators, Level 1, 2, Trainers and Innovators. Sorry, my dog is wanting my attention at the moment. Microsoft has the same thing. Some districts only use Microsoft, etc. And then these are some that you'll see for different websites. These are ones that you are probably familiar with if you're in the classrooms. Schoolology is another LMS system. Remind 101, a way to text and communicate with students and parents. Plickers is a wonderful assessment tool, very low tech. If your school doesn't have access to as much technology, you can do assessment through this just with the use of a smartphone. ClassFlow, this is typically tied in through the Promethean boards. And Seesaw, this is a wonderful LMS system for the elementary school students, especially with the iPad. I love Seesaw. If you want some more information, I'd be glad to help. So you'll see these in people's email signatures, and it looks good on a resume, different things like that. And if you actually are an ambassador for some of these programs, they'll give you beta testing or free licenses, things like that. So I would, if you're interested, I definitely recommend you check it out. So looking ahead, we are going into grant writing with technology. We are often very much underfunded, but we want the tools and they're expensive, so we have to come up with the products themselves. So if writing grants is something that interests you, your principals will love you because they are always in search of more money, especially for the technology that is very expensive and unfortunately we can't always get. So going through the project requirements here, listing, you've got 6 steps that you need to complete. Clicking on each one of these and it's going to kind of run you through all of them. Make sure that you're reading over all of the resources that we give you, watching the videos, etc. Grant writing is more difficult, especially you want to write a grant that's going to win and you're going up against thousands of other people. So you have to get a little creative and you don't want to do it just for an iPad. You want to do it for robotics on an iPad, things like that to make it more stand out. Down here at the bottom, you'll see the rubric. This rubric is a little bit different than the ones you've seen. It gives you individual points for each one. I'll be going through this step by step. This is a 50-point assignment. It's a very large assignment. So if you have any questions, please let me know. Do not wait until the last day to complete this or until the weekend to complete it. I encourage you to be continuing to work on it throughout the week because it will be a little bit more in depth. If you have any questions, please always feel free to email me. That is what I'm here for, and I would be glad to help. During the school day, 8 to 3, 7 to 2, I'm typically a little bit busier, but I always try to respond after work. If you don't hear from me within 24 hours, shoot me an email to remind me. I get hundreds of emails a day. Have a wonderful night. Thanks.